Thanks for staying with us. We'll be starting the newspaper reviews with The Nation. Major headline, World Bank okays $2.25 billion support package for Tinubu's reforms. 774 councils can't afford to pay 62,000 naira minimum wage, says chairman. Olakuleyin inspects ready for use Olubadan Palace. Fashola asks Assembly to review Lagos tenancy law. What stories do we have in The Nation?
Okay, so I have the
stories inside.
Oba, the new Olubadan, or the Olubadan designate Oba Owolabi Olakuleyin, who went to inspect the multi-million Olubadan Palace at the Aremo in Ibadan yesterday. He's, for the first time, doing a function outside his Alalubosa residence, where at the Alalubosa GRA residence where he lives, where since his designation as the Olubadan, after the passing of the late Olubadan, he has not, received or gone out of that residence. But he went yesterday and inspected the new palace, which had been under construction before the late Olubadan passed, Obalekon Balogun. And he was grateful. He said, "I am delighted to be among the living to inspect this project. So we have to thank God. Ibadan people need to appreciate God for this." People went along with him. President General of the Central Council of Ibadan Indigenes, Niyi Ajewole, as well as Oba Gbadamosi Adebimpe, Oba Kola Adegbola, Oba Abiodun Kola Daisi, Oba Isioye Dada, and Chief Bayo Oyero, Mogajis and Baales of Ibadan land all went with him. But his statements just made something ring for me. The Ibadan title is only available upon the death of the other Olubadan, and it's based on the oldest and age. So it's something you have to be grateful for life.
If you ever get that.
If you ever get the opportunity, so we're grateful.
Any other story?
Yes, okay. I have the raging controversy over the proposed new minimum wage. Yesterday, chairpersons of 774 local governments said that they would not be able to pay the 62,000 naira. And as we know, organized labor is still insisting on 250,000 naira. And of course, that is even way beyond affordable for them. Then we have the the Supreme Court had reserved judgment in the dispute between federal government and state government over their autonomy. And so we have, different people just speaking on this, the autonomy of local government from states, and then also the issue of minimum wage. And one of the, well-known economists in our time here, he says that that any increase in our minimum wage without corresponding productivity is going to spell a economic disaster for our country. And then we also have the chairman, Aminu Muazu Maifata, who was speaking through the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria. He says that, the allocation that comes to local governments from the Federation account is quite meager, and that there's no way that 62,000 will work for local government councils. So this is some of the things that federal government needs to look at, and also labor as they sit down, decide what this is going to be.
I think they said they receive about 18% of the total FAC allocation, while the federal government receives about 50%. Ramatu?
Okay, so we have the Fashola urges Lagos Assembly to review tenancy law. The former Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has called the Lagos State House of Assembly to review the tenancy law to compel landlords take 6 months' rent. He said these at the gala night to mark the 25 years of unbroken democratic governance in Nigeria. He said in his words, "We are using this law to protect tenants and citizens from Shylock landlords. I remember that this house once started by reducing the tenancy agreement from 3 years to 1 year, which had its impact. At this time of economic challenges and cost of living issues, I think we can go back to the tenancy agreement where landlords should be compelled to collect 3 months to 6 months rent. This will help in no small way, especially with the current economic situation." So he's saying that this
The
should fly
landlords
at
self
least.
have economic situations too that they are dealing with now. They need to pay school fees. They need
No,
Nigerians don't
it's a
even pay
balance,
gbese in the first
way
place.
It was proposed under him at the time and how he's been proposing it. So it's not something that takes away the interest of the landlord. It's something that ensures that it's conveniently
Paid by the
paid
tenants.
by the tenant,
Yeah.
so that you don't owe the landlord. But when you do the 2 years, the tenants will have to go out of their way, and then to continue might be a burden.
Okay. All right, I have the major headline. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's efforts at stabilizing the economy and scaling up support for the most vulnerable citizens have received $2.25 billion World Bank boost. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, was the one who broke the news in 2 major financial support packages in a statement last night. And he says they include $1.5 billion for Nigeria reforms of economic stabilization to enable transformation. That's the one they called Reset. Now, Development Policy Financing Program, DPF, and $750 that's $750 million for the Nigeria Accelerating Resource Mobilization Reforms, AMO, program for results. And they said this combined total of $2.25 billion will offer essential financial and technical support as the government continues to address economic distortions. Now, these reforms will create quality jobs and economic opportunities for all Nigerians. We welcome the support of the Reset and AMO programs as we further consolidate and implement our policy reforms consistent with accelerating investment and using public resources more sustainable to achieve our development goals. We know that the president had planned to do a lot of reforms, from changing of the policies to see how long-term we can begin to reap the results. And now, there's another addition to the money. Okay, since you are doing these projects, infrastructures are working and all of that, you need this fund, and it's more like a support. I hope it's actually free, that somehow we're not going to be signing off something or some resources to pay for this. Let's move on now to the nation. To the punch, sorry. Major headline, Dangote refinery plans 5.3 billion liters fuel storage. Why am I talking about money this morning? Federal government eyes fresh $500 million World Bank loan for rural roads. Local government funds, Supreme Court reserves judgment as states battle AGF. NNPC withdraws suit against ExxonMobil, Seplat, $1.28 billion deal. Buyers in last-minute rush for Salah Rams lament exorbitant costs. Unremitted gas royalty flare penalty hits $1.4 billion, according to the Navy. 4 to die by hanging for robbery, murder in Ekiti. 62,000 naira minimum wage, Labour faults politicians' jumbo pay. National Assembly gets bill after Salah. Let's take one story and then we do a short break.
The NNPC has, decided to withdraw. They've applied to the Federal High Court in Abuja to stop the ongoing legal action that they filed in 2022 against the Mobile Producing Nigeria Unlimited in their bid to divest 100% of their interest in the company to Seplat Energy Offshore Limited. And it was this was because a condition required that the settlement agreement the NNPC is having right now with Mobile must happen outside court. So they've withdrawn, they've asked the court to stop the process of the suit while they go and settle. But they left a provision that in case settlement not reached, they cannot settle. They will reinstate the matter again in court and continue with it. They are represented by Babalala, of course, and they also said they've had several meetings to resolve the dispute with Mobile, Petroleum Nigeria Unlimited, and they are looking at, resolving it. This is a suit that is looking at $1.28 billion deal that I think NNPC has interest in.
Yeah.
We'll take a breather here. When we come back, the newspaper reviews continue. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.